Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the podcast where we assign each other horror movies to watch and then talk about it so our spouses don't have to listen to us go on and on and on about scary stuff they don't like. I'm Zach.
And I'm Steve. Let's talk about some scary movies. By the way, there will absolutely be spoilers in this show. You have been warned. Stuff here. I've got a lot of stuff that I've watched recently.
Yeah, I actually have kept track of all of the stuff that I've watched. So
good.
Yeah. Though I did tell Casey today that because I read all of the stuff that I watched to her, and she was like, "Wow, that was a lot." And I was like, "This probably pales in comparison to the amount of things that Steve has watched." She was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, sometimes it's like 9 to 15 things." She's like, "Where does he have the time to do that?" And I said, "If you have the answer to that question, I think that'd be great."
I don't know.
I ask it every week.
I don't know either. I mean, I work when I'm supposed to work.
Well, I did tell her. I said, I think he puts a lot, like when he works from home, I think he puts a lot of stuff on in the background. I said, but the problem is, like, I have to watch it. Like, I'm going to immediately get lost. So I don't know how he does that part where he just has a movie on that he's never seen on in the background. Like, I can do that with a movie I have seen. I shouldn't say that. I'm easily distracted because I have undiagnosed ADHD. So it's fine.
Same.
It's all the same. Everybody has at least 5% undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but my problem is that Christy's like, you really need to stop watching things while you're working because my the cognitive weirdness that I've got going on with my brain. She's like, you're on the edge of ADHD already, and trying to split your attention like that, not good,
right?
For stuff. And my occupational therapist that I've been seeing, she gave me this stuff, this paperwork about what is memory.
This is what is memory. That's the title of it.
Stages of memory creation. There's like paying attention, encoding. So you take thing and like code it into your brain. You store it, and retrieval. And she talks about those and hierarchy of attention and how there's focused attention, and there's just like, and then sustained attention, selective attention. Anyway, long story short, I'm trying to be more one track minded instead of multiple track minded. Because my brain is like, nah, bro, I'd like to do what I want to do.
Yeah. And yet it's a bad thing that men can't multitask. Well, take that, feminism.
Get this. Women can't multitask either.
Huh?
Women can't multitask either. It's
roasted.
It's a fallacy. Not a phallic. See? A fallacy.
That's all we thought. Yeah, we were just thought you were
I just want to make it. I want to clear it up.
Okay. Very Freudian of you.
Yes, it's a fallacy that is the real thing, because what you like, they can tell from brain scans and stuff. Women are just better at switching fast, and men are not good at switching fast. Men are good at doing other things fast.
Right. Well, I mean, we didn't necessarily need to insinuate.
No, like
anything,
digging a hole or.
Oh, okay.
Building a wall.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just keep gaslighting.
That's kind of sexist too. Yeah. Son of a gun. But he like an old man from like the 1800s.
Dag nabbit.
Hey, Cookie, give me another bowl of beans over here.
A bowl of beans. All right.
Beans, magical fruit.
So do you want to talk about the fact that freaking stupid low-budget show stole our theme music?
I don't know if I do. Well, what was that? Ghost people?
It's called Ghost Show.
Ghost Show. Like, ooh,
it actually looks
we
pretty
tried really
decent.
hard. It does.
It looks pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looks funny to me, but it's also, it was funny when you sent me that video and you're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
does this theme music sound
Yeah. Familiar.
Yeah, it does. It
I don't.
100% sounds
I don't think.
familiar.
I'm hoping it's not the theme music for their show. I think it was just that one. I think it's just for that ad. But
I watched the trailer and like on Plex, that was not there. So,
right. Also, it's a show on Plex, so who's going to see it?
Well, boom, roasted. But
well, I was going to say I'd like to kind of get moving on things today because I have a lot. I want to I want to talk through the things that I watched, and I watched a bunch of things.
Okay,
because it's been 2 weeks.
It has been 2 weeks. You were sickies
inside baseball, but yeah, I was sick. And
so you wrote down that Guillermo del Toro is making a Frankenstein movie.
Yes, he is, and they've wrapped it. From what I understand, they've wrapped filming.
Now, is this the Christian Bale Frankenstein movie?
Huh. See, you were expecting me to have read about this. I just was looking at the headline.
Okay, great. Okay, that's fine. I just like a normal person, I understand that.
It's okay. Jacob Elordi will be playing Frankenstein's monster. I don't know who that is. Do you?
I mean, not by name. I'd have to look at his face. Is this the link? Is this what you sent? BloodyDiscussion.com?
Yeah. I recognize him, but I don't know what he's in. Oh, he was in Saltburn. He's a tall dude in Saltburn.
Bro, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, and Oscar Isaac are going to be in this movie?
Yes.
Whoa, dude.
Ralph Ineson's going to make an appearance in the film, apparently. Yeah, so I'm excited about that because I am a Guillermo del Toro fanboy. And I don't know how to say his name properly because I don't speak Spanish. But
dude, it's Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm excited about that. It's going to be a Netflix thing because Del Toro has kind of a deal with Netflix, kind of like Mike Flanagan had a deal with Netflix for a long time. That's over, so you're going to be starting to see a lot of Mike Flanagan stuff elsewhere besides just on Netflix, that's fine, cool. I guess. Like Guillermo del Toro posted this on X. I mean Twitter. And it said shooting has been completed on quote F.
On F.
Joy.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be a remake or if it's going to be, I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably going to be a remake, which is fine. I'm fine with Guillermo del Toro reimagining what Frankenstein is, but if it's like an origin story, then...
Well, it is an origin story. That's the nature of the movie.
Well, that's the thing, is he never got... Frankenstein never gets to really get a sequel. He dies at the end of the movie. Every movie about Frankenstein should technically be an origin story because he in the original movie, Universal movie, he dies at the end.
Well, who dies? Frankenstein or the monster?
The monster.
So in the book, I don't think
is this the Dr. Frankenstein? Are we talking about Dr. Frankenstein here?
So Frankenstein is the doctor.
Yes.
Frankenstein's monster is the monster.
Yeah.
So it's never really given a name or anything besides that. So, but in the book, you should read the book sometime. It's not that long. It's a pretty easy read. It's written by a
Mary Shelley,
17-year-old. She was like 17 or 18 or something at that time.
But if there's an audiobook version, I'll get it. It's fine.
Yeah, there probably is. It's probably a bunch of them because it's in public domain. You can probably get one on YouTube.
Oh, well, then shoot. I'm definitely going to go to YouTube.
But it starts out with It's kind of written by I think it's written by Frankenstein, like from the perspective of Frankenstein. I forget. Anyway, I don't think he dies at the end. I think he like goes off into the wide blue yonder. But it's a sad story, really.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said Frankenstein dies at the end, is because typically when someone says the word Frankenstein, they don't think of Dr. Frankenstein.
Right.
They think of the monster.
Right. Or the people I live with, you say Frankenstein, and they always say, "Don't you mean Frankenstein's monster?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not as pedantic little punk like you are."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you can feel the love here.
I do. I feel so much love. Speaking of love, let's whine about Gen Z again. What's going on?
So this is not a whine. This is just a noticing thing. I found this article that said Gen Z would rather play video games than watch a movie. It was like 68, 63% of Gen Z kids, or I guess some of them are like actually adults now, would rather, if they had time to kill, they would rather they'd play a video game of some sort than watch a movie, because movies are boring and you have to sit there and watch them, and you can't look at your phone all the time, blah, blah, blah. That's one reason some kids don't like going to the theater anymore, because you're not supposed to have your phone out and messing with it. Whereas if you're at home, everybody's on their phone, and like a little screen and the big screen, and
right.
Which drives me crazy, because I
just an old curmudgeon.
I do that sometimes. I'm an old curmudgeon. Yeah, I'm an old curmudgeon. I mean, I do what you want to do, but don't sit on your phone. Not that this has ever happened, but don't sit on your phone, watching your phone and doing whatever on your phone, and then something happens on screen and everybody goes, "Oh," and you go, "What happened?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, I'm not going to tell you.
Missed your chance."
I'm not. We're not going to rewind.
Come on, and I'm like, "Fine, here, I'll tell you," which just reinforces the behavior.
Yeah, part of the problem. Part of the problem, Steve.
Gotta be part of the solution, man.
That behavior. I don't know. I am excited about the Nosferatu movie. I enjoy the fact that the trailer is really only giving a wee bit away at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
It
looks good, though.
I don't know who is playing Nosferatu. This is an easy lookup. I could probably just look it up on IMDb, but
Pennywise.
Oh, Skarsgård's playing it. Wow. Okay.
And I like how they didn't show him at all in the trailer.
They really just show like his eyes and like that for like a brief second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, I hope he likes the fact that he's like typecast as the bad dude, but he's so good as a bad dude.
He's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So you should have something about the Halloween movie marathon has begun.
Yeah, man.
Tell us.
My Halloween movie marathon has begun. And I'm 3 movies deep in this marathon.
Are you gonna make that list public?
Yeah, I mean, I can just say the list right now. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like in Letterboxd, so people can find it.
Oh, I mean, I probably should. I probably could do that. Yeah, and then just I could post it. It's fine. Yeah, I'll do that later.
Both things.
Okay, so
I think you went through it last time, but
yeah, Leprechaun, The Blob, Hellraiser 3, The Faculty, Alien, Leprechaun 2, Little Shop of Horrors, Bird Box, Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse, Urban Legend, As Above, So Below, New Nightmare, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, Imaginary, and Child's Play 3. So I'm down 3 movies this week: Leprechaun, The Blob, and Hellraiser 3. So yeah, so I'm actually enjoying myself as opposed to Slasher September, which again I got like 3 movies into that one and was like I'm giving up on life at this point because I can't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't pick a good slasher movie to save my life. Turns out you shouldn't judge a book by its cover at the end of the day, because I judge all of these movies by their posters. If the poster is good for a good slasher movie, I'm going to be like, yeah, the movie's going to be good. That is not a good litmus test. Not a good litmus test, Steve.
Not a good litmus test, no.
Yeah.
they say don't judge by a book by its cover. That
Yeah,
applies
yeah.
for movies too.
Apparently, don't judge a movie by its poster. So,
Yep. Yep.
but I've added a couple movies to Slasher September, and we'll get into those when we talk about what we watched this week. And I think I said that on Instagram, like, hey, this list is not concrete at all, and is subject to change, and is subject to additions. So if uh, if I want to watch another horror movie and add it to the list, then it gets added to the list. So yeah, and like I said, I've added some movies. Speaking of one of the movies that I did add, R.I.P. to Ken Page, who's the voice of Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie. Oh, okay.
Oogie Boogie died, and
Yeah.
I watched A Nightmare Before Christmas in honor of Ken Page.
Would you mind telling me who
Funko
the heck
Pop.
Oogie Boogie is?
You don't know who Oogie Boogie is?
No.
What?
I mean,
Have you never seen
is it Nightmare on
No, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, Before Christmas. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is he the bad guy?
He's basically the bad guy.
Right. Okay. Yeah. With the little hat and like.
Yeah, he wears the burlap sack. He's made of bugs.
Right. Right. Okay, so friend of the show, Miles, shout out to Miles, sent me a TikTok about like the origins of Oogie Boogie, and so I watched it, and I'm like, okay, cool.
How fast did Miles send that to you? Was it 3 times the speed of a normal send?
Probably no.
Okay.
I think light speed is about the fast you can go.
I just assumed that Miles only operates at 3 times speed always.
Most things in Miles' life are 3 times speed. That's true.
So if like the speed limit is 55 mile an hour, Miles is going 3 times faster than that speed.
Not necessarily. I think what's going on with him, he's going the speed limit, maybe a tad over because, stay with the traffic. But I think with him, he's thinking 3 times faster than he's driving. So his brain gets there 3 times faster than his body gets there. So I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. Yeah, man. I gotta meet this character because what the heck, dude?
You do.
What is happening?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, shout out real quick to at Serial Demon Comics on Instagram.
Serial Demon Comics. Okay.
I put up on Instagram. Here's the list. Here's what I'm going to be watching, and share your list of what movies you're going to be watching this month. Whoever shares their list, I'll give you a shout out on the podcast. And one person took me up on that. Fantastic. That person, his name is Zach. So freaking shout out, Zach.
Are you sure?
Double shout out. Double shout out. Zach's banding together, watching some scary movies. So Zach's going to watch.
Sure it's not you?
It's
different like multiverse of you.
That is neither here nor there. If it's another multiverse me, if it's future me, if it's past me, I need to know. But he's a lovely guy.
Yeah, good.
Of course he is. His name is Zach.
Anyway. I didn't. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
You're fine. He said he's going to watch Videodrome again. He said again. Terrifier. I don't know what's wrong with this, Zach. The movie Cuckoo. Still haven't seen that one. And he said some other movies. He also recommended we watch the Japanese film Shudder.
Is it on Shudder?
That would be great if it was. I don't know where it is. Yeah. He recommended that film. So again, shout out Zach. Follow him on Instagram at Serial Demon Comics. And yeah. So anyway, that's it.
Cool. So official top 25 horror films of 2024.
Yes.
The Letterboxd.
Uh-huh.
What did you have to say about that?
Well, I first put it on here because they posted about it. So I'm like, hey, we could look at it, talk about it. But then I also had some qualms with it, and I wanted to talk about those.
Yeah, qualms.
Yes, qualms. So, here's the thing. This list, it says,
Mm-hmm.
and we could be debunking my qualm live on this episode right now. So, they released the official top 25 horror films of 2024. But when I went to Letterboxd and hit 2024, sort by 2024, and hit sort by genre, horror, and then add to that the sort by average rating, and hit done, I get a different list than this top 25 list. And I want to know what the heck is going on.
So it does
The
have
big
some
horror is paying off some people. What's happening?
It does have some eligibility requirements. Must be a feature-length narrative film.
Okay.
Films must have their first national release in any country in 2024, and no festival. Festival doesn't count. It's be like official public release.
Okay.
And there has to be 1,000 minimum ratings before they will put it in on the list. So it could be that some of the ones you have are, and I don't know how to sort that. Like, I don't know if an average human can do that, or if that's something they have to do in their database in the background somehow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's dumb. They need to figure that out.
Well, my qualm, my no, I mean, it's not a qualm, but I'm surprised by is I haven't heard of a lot of these. Like, I haven't even heard of them,
Yeah.
and I try to be pretty up to date on like at least what's the new horror stuff coming out. But for example, okay, Substance is at number one right now, which I really want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Christy wanted to see it until she found out it was like this really nasty body horror movie.
Yeah.
But the second one is Brahmayugam. And
Yeah.
I guess that's an India from India movie. So I never heard of that. But then Chime, have you heard of Chime?
I've never
Like
heard of.
a,
Yeah. Number 2, number
yeah,
3, never
it's
heard
a
of.
Japanese movie. Okay.
Never heard of 4.
The
The
Dead
Dead Talents.
Talents
Yeah.
Society. Oh, okay,
Never heard of that one.
it's Korean, I think. No, Taiwanese.
Okay.
And then Your
Never heard of
Monster.
Your Monster.
Yeah, I have heard of that. It's Melissa Barrera. You know?
Oh, is this her Beauty and the Beast movie?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. So I didn't know what that title was, so there you go.
Yeah, and so that looks pretty darn good. And then Alien Prometheus. Sorry, Alien Romulus.
Alien
Is number
Romulus.
6. I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
The Girl with the Needle. That's new to me.
Never heard of that one.
It's from Denmark.
Ooh, Denmark.
Mm-hmm. Strange Darling, which I really want to see.
I've never heard of that one.
Really? Okay,
so maybe
what I've heard about Strange Darling is know as little as you possibly can before you go to this movie or watch this movie. Because apparently it's what I've heard, the reviews are like, this is unlike any movie I've ever seen. It's like the best thing ever. It's fantastic.
And yet it's number 8. So do better. Okay. Just needless shade towards this movie that's supposed to be a genre bender.
Right. And then Exuma. Saw that one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's on Shudder though. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Korean
I
movie.
saw the TV Glows freaking number 10, and I have problems with this. Because Long Legs is number 15, brother.
Well, it's not supposed to be like scariest movie.
It is a trash movie for trash people.
Dude, so I saw the TV Glow. That's like that's one of my favorite movies of all
Listen,
time. It's so good.
it's not okay. I'm more trash talking it because it shouldn't be number 10 on this list. It deserves to be on this list. It's a good story. Fine. It is slightly confusing. I didn't understand what I was watching.
That's true. That's absolutely. I mean, that's fair.
I needed help watching this movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's a fair. I don't think it's fair to call it a horror movie. I don't think it's a horror movie.
It's not necessarily a horror movie. Okay.
No.
But we're playing loose and fast with this term horror nowadays.
Yeah. But a lot of the next few movies I've heard of, like Bird Eater, Devil's Bath, Oddity, Lisa Frankenstein, Longlegs, Late Night with the Devil.
What is with Lisa Frankenstein being ahead of Longlegs?
I don't know. It's like the rating is 3.4 for Lisa and 3.4 for Longlegs.
Okay, so then it's just alphabetical order then.
Could be.
They're going alphabetical order at that point.
No, so look at the ratings. It says like 6.2 thousand fans. I'm not sure what a fan is. Is that somebody who hits the heart button?
No, I think it's just like.
So
who are these fans?
But Lisa Frankenstein has 6.2 thousand fans and rated at 3.4. And
where are you
Longlegs
where are you seeing fans? This has to be riveting podcasting at this point.
It is. And Longlegs has 3.9 thousand fans at 3.4. So, let me see.
Yeah. Milk and Cereal needs to be higher on the list.
Is it on the list?
It's number 20.
Oh, I didn't see that.
More people at least need to see this movie. Milk and Cereal is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, so here's...
Well, you also pay for this, and I don't pay for it, so you might be seeing things that I don't get to see.
That's true. So here, it's underneath, like, down here.
Oh, and you're also on... I'm on the iPad.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the website.
Yeah, so
I don't know where it is on the
differences
web.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
How is Speak No Evil number 19? But that's the remake.
You think it should be more higher?
No, I think the OG movie should take its stupid place. If you're gonna put the freaking remake on there, then put the other one on there. It's too brutal for American little wusses. Ugh, shut up.
Well, I mean, it's got a lot of tomatoes too.
I'm just saying. I think that it's
just out of respect.
Just out of respect for it. Yeah. Oh, you had to read your little subtitles, so you don't like it. Shut up. But also, I get it because I don't like to read subtitles. Yeah. So I'm throwing. It's Glass House at the end of the day. I'm just throwing stones just to throw stones. But
there is a movie on here it's called Slay. It's a Tubi original, believe it or not.
What?
I've heard it's really good. It's got really high reviews. So
after a booking mistake, 4 drag queens find themselves performing for a mostly underwhelming crowd.
Unwelcoming.
No, what did I say?
Underwhelming.
Oh, well. Okay. Well, just also reading is difficult and brain fog, whatever. Anyway, I'm dealing with it. And but when vampires attack, that's a wicked turn right there. But when vampires attack, the crowd looks to the queens to save the day. I'm in
right?
with that title.
Totally.
That was good. That was good. Because that synopsis took me on a ride. That's really good. Because I would probably look at this poster and be like, "What is this movie about?"
Right. Oh yeah.
And also, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna judge a book by its cover." I'm gonna be like, "How good can this movie be?" Then you find it's on Tubi. Time out. What? How good can this movie be?
Right.
So I read the synopsis. Whoever that's Oscar award winning or that's Oscar winning synopsis writing right there.
There should be an Oscar for synopsis writing.
There definitely should be. I still need to see Quiet Place Day 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see Azrael.
Azrael? Oh, the Summer Weaving.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to see that too.
Yeah. Anyway.
Problem is, a lot of these movies don't stay in theaters at all anymore. but like a
Well, I mean,
week.
with the Gen Z kids not sticking around, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They should probably have like screenings where you can go see the movie and play with your phone and talk to people.
I'm surprised that there's not theaters for that.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm not kidding at all. Because I really think that would help.
Yeah,
Just like expect people are going to be talking. Like me to have the lights up a little bit.
yeah.
Um,
You basically make it a house. You can make
right.
it like it's still a theater. There's some couches in there though. People sitting up on the couch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's the like kind of the artsy fartsy theater here in town that has this, some of the like the artsy fartsy shows. Has but every one of their theaters has a bunch of couches like for the first 5 rows, just like old couches from like Goodwill or something.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I understand that because if they're not going to theaters, but this has been the cry of the theater or the cry of Hollywood for years now, is that nobody's going to movies.
Yeah.
Then stop making sequels. Make
Well,
compelling television. Make compelling movies and try to fix it. And I think the popcorn buckets are. I'm into the popcorn buckets. I
yeah,
haven't got
yeah,
one yet because you have to give up a firstborn, and I don't have one of those yet. So
yeah. Well,
I'm not going to go to eBay. I'm just going to buy a 3D
nuts.
printer, Stephen. I'm just going to make my own because that's the
There you
only way
go.
that I'm ever
There you
going
go.
to get one.
Yep.
That's what we need. We need a horrors yet unseen popcorn bucket, 3D printed popcorn bucket.
Good idea. I'll
Yeah,
put you on that. Yeah, I'll sign that to you. You do that.
that's fine. I'm down with that. Okay, let's talk about Terrifier 3 for a second.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. We're giving this movie more. Okay. I love the fact that when we first started this podcast, it felt very much like we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to give any amount of time to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We're not going to give any amount of time to just the Pooniverse in general. We're not
Right.
going to give any amount of time to Damien Leone and
At all.
not even a little bit. And yet, somehow, I can't stop talking about this crap.
Does it? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't stop.
It's kind of like watching a train wreck. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I've heard the first 10 minutes are really bad. And by bad, I
Yeah.
don't mean bad,
Low quality.
low quality. I mean, like, they're so
Disturbing.
gory and disgusting that people are throwing up and leaving the theater.
So
Yeah.
I saw you put that on there, and then I came across an article that explaining what happened. So the marketing company for marketing this movie
Yeah.
went to a theater like in LA or whatever, and that has screenings of new movies all the time.
Right.
And they said, they said, hey, theater, send out your free passes to your customers, like broad swath of customers.
Right. We
And
want
they said
real
it's a
people.
right. It's a holiday movie, and we wanted to show you the holiday movie.
Oh.
Then they didn't tell them what the name of it was at all. And apparently, like the screenings, it said they don't have the same, like they don't have all the credit stuff worked out yet.
Okay.
Because it's and like there's it's like a things that goes up and says, this is not the final cut. There may be some changes, but let us know what you think. So it just launches straight into the first 10 minutes of Terrifier 3 with everybody in there, no kids, but I mean everybody who like grandmas down to like everybody, and like non horror fans, probably a lot of them, and suddenly they're being,
Subjected to this. Yeah.
subject. Thank you. Suddenly they're being subjected to some of the nastiest stuff I've ever even imagined. That's why they got up and left. where someone like puked or whatever, because it was kind of a setup, but it makes for
Okay.
good marketing.
Yeah, it does make for good marketing, like how, Long Legs is the scariest movie of the last 20 years.
The danger of that though is when it's not the scariest movie that's about past 20 years, people are like, "What?" Pissed off.
Listen, that's still a good movie. That's
It's
still
still fantastic.
it's still a fantastic movie. But I understand it is when you start dealing in subjective hyperbole, then
Exactly.
that's not, but I think overall I have been watching a lot of Terrifier 3 TikToks of people who've gone to screenings and have seen it. Because again, I'm obsessed. And
Right.
I universally everyone is like, the first 10 minutes are wild. Some of the craziest stuff we've ever seen. There is no one scene that beats the bedroom scene, that tops the bedroom scene, but the entirety of the movie is such a wild, gross, gory thing that the entire movie does top the bedroom scene.
Wow.
People are praising it for the fact that it got more money than Terrifier 2. Like, the budget got more money, but they still keep the uh,
Practical.
grindhouse
Yeah.
aesthetic that the other two movies, the low budgetness that the other two movies
Right.
had.
Which makes
Um,
it kind of visceral.
right. And I want to know, though. This is my big question, because I love 80s slasher movies. I shouldn't say that, because a lot of my slashers or terror movies were 80s slasher movies, and they were really bad. But anyway,
There were too many of them at the time.
I've seen a lot. This type of movie, the Terrifier franchise, calls itself like a return to that 80s slasher style. I even ran into a guy when I was at that NASCAR race who had an article. He had slasher villains tattooed on him.
Oh, right,
And
right.
I told you about that. I saw Ghostface, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what's your favorite scary movie?" And we got to talking, and he said that he loves the Terrifier movie because of that, like, 80s gore kind of thing. But I've never run
Okay.
into a movie, never have run into an 80s movie that is as gross and gory. And maybe it's because the practical effects have simply gotten better. So when I watch The Blob and I see, him reach down her blouse and, like, that kill, which was the craziest kill of the movie, um, it is
Killer boob.
right. Like, it is. It is gross, but it's not. I don't equate it to the bedroom scene because it's
No.
there's some comedy in it. But people are like, "Oh, well, art's kind of funny," and I'm like, "Art is there's not even a little bit." Like, I cannot give it any grace at all. So anyway, if you're listening and you want to chime in,
Well,
talk to us on the podcast or
I
on the
think that there.
Instagrams.
I think part of it's that there used to be all kinds of weird censorship, like statewide regulations for some censorship on movies in the U.S. until at least the 80s for some stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
part of this may be that, like, you couldn't get a movie out if it was as bad as Terrifier is now.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is like, then don't say 80s. These people
Well,
who are calling it the 80s, it's this return to the 80s gore, and I'm like, it's not, because if the regulations are different, they weren't able to show that kind of stuff back then. So you're creating something that's new. You're creating something that's new, and the new genre is gore porn. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
So just call it that. That's what these movies are at their heart, is creative ways of showing us how freaking depraved directors can be. Like,
absolutely.
which, I
I wonder,
mean, fine, whatever. There's a clearly an audience for it, but you know,
I wonder if they mean by like return to the 80s, like the style of storyline, maybe?
maybe.
Or,
But also, you and I both know that there's no real story in this. There's no real
well,
story
there's not
in
really
this.
like, okay, let's be fair. With some of the original, like Halloween and Friday the 13th, they don't really have a story. The story is guy is mad and wants to kill people.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
would say though. I mean, according to that image that you sent me of National Treasure John Carpenter reviewing his movies,
Right.
Halloween 2 definitely didn't have a story. Versus Halloween 1. John put his heart and soul in
Right.
Halloween 1 and I wouldn't even say he phoned it in. Like, yeah, he made a name for himself with Halloween 1 and they were like, "Hey, we need you to write Halloween 2." So he got high and was like, "I'm going to sit on this typewriter and that's it. Here's your script, bro. Give me the money."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on to what movies we watched this week, because the only other thing on the list is that fact that people they hate the Joker too.
It I didn't know it was a musical.
I mean, I've heard that it is, and I've heard that it isn't.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's one of both, but I mean I haven't seen it. But the what I've have you seen the first one with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes,
I haven't seen it yet. But there's a
you
guy.
haven't seen the original Joker?
No.
Oh
Well,
wow,
oh, the original Joker. I mean, how
no,
many Jokers are we talking about here?
the Joaquin movie Joker.
I haven't watched it because it doesn't look good.
that's, that's okay. That's brutally honest, and I love it. I'm here for it.
So the reason it doesn't look good to me, and I follow the dude on Instagram, not Instagram, guy on TikTok,
Kim?
and he is what's his? Oh, here we go. Kit Laser, Lazer.
Yeah,
I really like his stuff. Anyway, he had a point. He
on
had a
TikTok. He
yeah,
always wears like the A20 that A24
yeah,
hat.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I
he's a
follow
great
him in
guy.
Letterboxd as well.
Uh huh.
Um, I think it was him who was talking about how the whole point of no, it wasn't. It was the guy who wrote John Dies at the End. Uh, Jason Pargan, the author of the book John Dies at the End. Anyway, he was saying that Kit Laser said it was a crap movie, but um, Jason Pargan was saying that the whole point of Batman is that like he doesn't like being Batman. It's like like this darkness drives him to do the things,
Okay.
and to be like he is, but he's not like, yay, I'm Batman, because it's a dark, sad story. And so the foil to Batman, the opposite of Batman, is classically Joker,
Right.
and Joker's should be like he should be the opposite of Batman. He should be because Joker was a character who was supposed to love being what he is. The Riddler, for example, loves being the Riddler. These guys aren't like they're messed up in the head, but they're not sad and brooding about it. But
Okay.
what we have with the new Joker with Joaquin Phoenix is it's a sad, depressed dude who's like doing Joker stuff, and like that's the fundamental problem with the new Joker stuff is it doesn't seem to vibe with the whole purpose of a Joker.
Right.
So
But also, things can be two things.
no,
You're so black and white with it, man.
I don't know. So anyway,
I agree
I
with you. Sometimes I
I
do get very stickler-ish about that kind of stuff, but I I think you should at least give the first Joker movie a
yeah,
chance.
I think I will.
I've heard some spoilery reviews of Joker 2, and I'm very curious as to how all of it will play out. But according to what I have heard in a 10% spoilery way, it's like Todd Phillips just walked back all of what he set up in the original one. And people
Really?
are upset about it. And so, which makes me kind of want to watch it a little bit, but I don't know. It's the first one has like some really big shocking parts, and
Okay.
but it also paints Arthur in as having a real mental condition.
Really?
And so there is this realism to it that is eye-opening and also uncomfortable. And so to watch the kind of birth of the Joker. But anyway. So you wanted to get into the movies that you've watched. So why don't you take us there, Steve?
Come on a journey with me.
You want to take off your shoes and put on your cardigan?
You know what? I do that, actually.
Okay. Full Mr.
My
Rogers,
wife makes fun of me and like all the time because I come home, I take my shoes off, and I put on my house shoes. Because she doesn't want me walking around the house in my grubby shoes. I get it. We have like light colored carpet. And, I'm on board with keeping things clean.
Right.
But then I take my jacket off and I put on my home jacket.
Your home jacket. Okay.
When it's cold.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you can't get away from people giving you crap.
At the end of the day, that's what life's all about. Just give people crap.
It is.
And then you die.
Giving and receiving different amounts of crap in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you die.
Okay. And then you die. And then that's it. Yeah. Give people crap and then you die. Like that's
It's a crap exchange. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Anyway.
What a perspective. That's a t-shirt right there. That's the t-shirt idea.
Okay, so the last time we recorded Mr. Zach was not last week. It was what's the date? 21st? 22nd. Yeah. 22nd. Okay, so back to the 22nd of the Septembers. Wow, it's a while back.
I know.
Dang. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every single one that I watch, but I mean, I'll
How many are there total?
I don't want to think about it. You can if you like.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 24.
I knew you'd count when I asked.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
24 movies.
I'm just
well, I mean, it has been 2 weeks, so I get it. But and you were sick during like one of those weeks, so yeah, I fully understand.
I missed the
You spent all that time pre-podcast.
I couldn't get the I saw,
and then you missed it. No one knows what we're talking about just now.
Okay.
A great. I really want you to leave that in because that was so good.
All right. Okay. I watched a movie called. It's a short film. It's very good. It's called "An Ostrich Told Me the World Is Fake and I Think I Believe It."
What? That's such a long title. And it's so interesting. I like that.
It is, and it's on YouTube. It's a free thing to watch.
Okay.
And so I just texted you my review of it. I said, "Dang, very good, surprisingly thought provoking." It really is. And it's funny because a single guy during COVID, I guess, living in his parents' house during COVID, did this in his parents' kitchen on the kitchen table. It's a claymation thing, stop motion,
Oh wow.
and it's 12 minutes long, but it's a fantastic show. Watch one movie, whatever.
Great.
So then I saw a movie called Eight Eyes, 2.5 stars. It was on Shudder. It says at a breaking point in their dysfunctional marriage, Cass and Gav take a trip through Serbia after meeting a mysterious local, St. Peter, who eagerly offers them to be their guide. The couple embarks on an impromptu sightseeing expedition that soon takes a series of sinister turns. It gave vibes of Hostel a little bit.
I don't like that.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same setup. It wasn't the torture porn stuff or whatever the trash that Hostel is, but it was disturbing, and it was, I don't know, it had its ups and downs, but it was definitely a scary movie for sure. And I watched Lucky, which is also on Shudder. I kind of was going on a Shudder kick for a while, just going like whatever they said was next, so I'll just click on it because this is when I was sick.
You've seemed to be doing that quite a bit, like, and that leads to just some weird movies that you've been watching.
Yeah. And the concept of this was cool because the concept was basically with this woman every single night in the middle of the night, somebody breaks into her house with her husband. Somebody breaks into their house, tries to kill her, and she kills the guy. And
What's
then the
this
guy
movie
disappears.
called again?
Lucky.
Every night.
Yep. Every night.
She's not dreaming. This is a real event that every night someone's breaking in.
But she, like, at beginning, it opens up the movie with, like, right when this is happening, and she fights the guy off and, like, stabs him or something, and she, like, goes to run to the phone, and she turns around, the guy's disappeared. He's gone. And the blood's on the ground still. She's got to clean it up. And she's, like, talking to her husband, and she's like, what happened? What's going on? He's like, oh, he comes every night. She's like, what? And then you find out that other women have the same problem of men showing up every night to try to kill them, and they have to off the guy. And it's an interesting concept, and I get where they're trying to go with like an allegorical sort of like getting a message across.
Yeah,
but it's just definitely rarely lands because I don't know. I said it was like a giant nothing burger because I don't know. I didn't like how it ended.
So would you say men is better?
Men's better, way better.
Except for the end where he gives birth to himself, and that's freaking gross. It's weird. I don't like it.
Then I watched A Wounded Fawn on Shudder, which is
Bambi. Is that Bambi?
No, it's a dead fawn.
Oh wow!
No, Bambi's the fawn. Never mind.
Yeah, Bambi. Yeah, gosh.
A local museum curator who is dipping her toe back into the dating pool is targeted by a charming serial killer. When a fateful romantic getaway between the two becomes a tense game of cat and mouse, both must confront the madness within him. Also, relatively interesting. But the end credit scene. I mean, if nothing else, pull up the movie, watch the end credit scene. It's like really long and so disturbing.
Okay.
Then I watched The Beach House, which is it's like another romantic getaway and things go south sort of situation. And but this one is like everybody's getting this mysterious infection, and they're trying to stay away from each other. But it's like a really bad infection. They get they die really fast. Also on Shudder. That one's better. That one's a 3.5 star one for me. That was pretty entertaining, pretty good. And that's a rare one that Mike Flanagan posted on, posted a review on. He gave it 4 stars. He said Jeffrey Brown's thoughtful, shattering cosmic horror boasts a remarkable performance. Blah blah blah. So it's one of his favorites of 2019, straight from Mike Flanagan's mouth. So it's a good one. Also on Shudder. And then I saw this kind of I went down like this goofy road for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Bro Party Massacre 3.
Right.
Dude.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of this?
I have not seen that one yet. No.
Okay.
It's on the list, but I haven't
I
seen
get
it.
4.5 stars.
That seems too much.
I mostly based on how much fun the movie is. I said it's the most perfect stupid comedy horror film possible. It's different, so it's not a horror comedy like Tucker and Dale, right? It's like one of these purposely, very obviously, just dumb movies, and it's from 2015, and like Patton Oswalt in it. He makes a little appearance, but it's mostly people you don't know. There were but they're it's like they're taking the trope of the slasher. This is a good slasher September one. It's taking the trope of the slasher and swapping it, like gender swapping it, because all these movies, it's the women, the girls who are running around topless or whatever, getting themselves killed. And in this one, it's the guys who are getting killed by a woman serial killer called Motherface. And
amazing. I love that.
And it's so funny, dude. It's so funny.
Motherface.
Yeah. And that's on Prime. And then I watched Night of the Living Deb.
Night of the Living Deb.
Yeah.
Like,
so
like Deborah.
Deborah. It's a comedy horror. And my reviews just says new title, Manic Pixie Dream Zombie. Are you familiar with the Manic Pixie Dream Girl trope?
No.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that sometime. But Manic Pixie Dream Girl is like this trope especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, with all these movies where the object, like rom-coms, the object of the affection of the guy is a girl who's just like goofy and fun and like sparkly hair, and but she does everything perfectly, and kind of a Mary Sue sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, she has a one-night stand with this guy and wakes up in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and it's pretty darn funny. It's not that great, but it's a fun show. And then I saw The Demon Disorder on Shudder, and that's a 4-star one. It's a very disturbing, scary, I would say pretty scary movie about 3 brothers and their deceased father that collide when a deep, dark family secret's unearthed. And this was an interesting one. This is not really a spoiler or anything, but there are a lot of possession movies out there, but this one was a unique one because the possession is passed down through generations.
So it's generational trauma.
It's probably, it's probably the allegory of it. Yeah, you're right. Probably is that. But in the movie,
then
it's
that's
like,
my life. Then it's a movie about my life. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And the subtitle says there is no cure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's exactly what my therapist said. Okay, fantastic. Yeah.
So that's in Shudder. It's one of their newer ones. It's really good. I'd recommend it.
Okay. I'm not going to watch it, but thank you for your recommendation.
Then I saw a movie on Prime, I believe. No, it was Prime, wherever it was. I forget. Tubi has it. It's called Come to Daddy.
Well, okay.
That is it's a film starring Frodo, again, Elijah Wood.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
It's kind of a horror. It's like a real life horror situation. He gets a cryptic letter from his estranged father, and he travels to his dad's oceanfront home. And it's one of these movies that halfway through the movie it turns and becomes a different movie, and I really liked it a lot. 4.5 stars on that one. I don't want to say too much to give it away, but I would really recommend seeing that.
All right, let me write it down. What was it again? Frodo Baggins?
Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy.
I thought it was kind of unique because the twist is usually at the end, and I like to have this had a twist in the middle. And I gotta say, I'm getting more and more impressed with Elijah Wood and Harry Potter. Who's Harry Potter? What's that guy's name? Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, yeah.
Yeah, they're both. They aside from the fact that they get confused a lot, and I've seen interviews with both of them saying that they often get confused for the other one on like out in public, and they will once in a while they'll just like pose for photographs and sign the other guy's name.
That's amazing.
But he did a fantastic job. It's mostly a two-person, a 2 to 3 person movie. So, but it's a very good movie. And then I saw House of a Thousand Corpses.
All
I should say
right.
I tried to see House of a Thousand Corpses. It is the
Yes.
worst movie. It is a piece of trash. It is dumb and bad and horrible and trashy and all the words. All the words, Zach. I mean,
Okay, smoking hot turd.
oh boy, is it ever?
0
50%
stars then.
50% of the film is loops of something we've seen, but this time the clip is in goofy color or shaky cam. And it really is. It's like the movie could have been half or a third of the length. I said the dialogue is also quite possibly the worst writing I've encountered since my 3rd grade class wrote a short play about the colonization of Colorado. Did I mention the acting is also so bad that it's just bad? And I said, I sure hope Mr. Zombie is on some better drugs by now. Rob Zombie should stick to playing loud, bad music, not doing movies.
Bro,
I'm not going to watch
bad.
another. Actually, okay. Like some of his movies, so his songs are legit bangers.
Yeah, that's what I was like, dude, you're crapping on his music right now.
I know, like Dragula. Okay, that one's a good one. That was a good one. I mean, there's some good ones. I should say, stick to music, Mr. Zombie. Do not do movies anymore. I'm never going to watch another one of his movies. They're just trash.
Never.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
And then I saw The Trip, 4 stars, a wild ride. It's about a couple who go on they're having problems and they go away on a vacation to like this beach house that they have or a cabin or whatever, not knowing that both of them are planning to kill the other one on the trip. But they get there and so like chaos happens and trying to kill each other, but then other things happen as well to complicate the situation. And it's really good. It's in Norwegian though, so you have to read it. But it's a really good movie, and it stars Noomi Rapace. I'm not sure how to say her name. Rapace, she was the kind of the main heroine or whatever in Prometheus, and she also starred in Lamb. She's been in a lot of stuff, but she's really good. She's like a Swedish actress or something. But that's good. It's on Netflix. The Trip. And then I saw a lot of crap. Then I saw Wolves, the new Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie, which is on Apple TV Plus only right now.
Yes.
And it's 3.5 stars. I can tell they're trying to kind of do a Ocean's 11 sort of feel. And it's called Wolves because I think it's referencing the wolf in what's that movie?
Three Little Pigs?
Pulp Fiction.
What?
In Pulp Fiction, like the cleaner guy, he's like called the wolf.
Oh.
So these guys are
Why
both.
did I say Three Little Pigs? What the heck is up with me? My brain's not working.
I said wolf, Yeah. So both Brad Pitt and George Clooney are like crime cleaner upper guys.
Right.
So right at the beginning of the movie, somebody dies and they have to come clean it up. And it's a good fun ride.
Yeah. I want to watch it. Like,
yeah, I'm not going to give it away.
I've been debating about, my new iPhone comes with like 3 months of Apple stuff, but like, I can't decide whether I don't know whether it's like, because it's like 3 months of Apple Arcade, 3 months of Apple everything basically. But is it, you just get to select one and then the rest are not it? So I've been debating about whether or not to go with Apple TV just because there are some things that I want to Like I
Yeah.
want to go through and rewatch Ted Lasso again,
Right.
and then Wolves is on there, and I want to watch that. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my iPhone story.
So Wolf's, it's on there. It's misspelled. It's WOLFS, not VES. So anyway. Then I rewatched You're Next, which was fun. It's a great slasher survival sort of movie. And then I watched The Favorite by Yorgos Lanthimos, and it's the least Yorgos Lanthimos movie that I've seen. It's actually like a period drama about a gal who Emma Thompson, of course, not Emma Thompson, sorry, Emma Stone.
Watson? Stone.
Emma Stone, Olivia Colman, and Rachel Weisz are the stars, and it's fine. It's a movie. I gave it 2.5.
Yeah,
but it's okay. It's just kind of sad. I wouldn't recommend anybody watch it. I did not like it. Then I watched Fight Club. Never seen Fight Club before.
for real. You've never seen Fight Club?
No.
Well, why are we talking about it? We can't talk about it.
I've been spoiled by that movie that you can't talk about.
Yeah.
So I knew the ending of it. So it was kind of interesting watching the ending, or sorry, knowing the ending coming up. But I felt like the movie was like an hour too long. It was just so long. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it just been over. I didn't like it. I gave it 3 stars because it's a good movie. Like the filming of it, the lighting, the acting, all fantastic. But I just didn't like the story or something. I don't know. Now we're entering October.
Oh wow, we're just now in October. Fantastic.
Yeah, sorry. Saw Leprechaun because I'm following on your list.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and I gave it a whole star.
Dude, we went full opposite with this one because I think I gave this movie like 4 stars because it's so stupid. I loved this movie.
So I had fun with it. So I think my philosophy with rating movies is it a good movie?
Right.
Did I like the movie, or was it fun? Which is, I don't know, it's maybe a little different. So I had fun with it just because it was so bad. But
right.
my review did say, you know what would keep a leprechaun away? A decent script.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah. It was so shocking how really bad this. At one point you text me and were like, I'm surprised Jennifer Aniston booked anything else after this movie.
100%, dude.
Because it's so bad. But it gives me I really had to not watch Leprechaun 2 immediately afterwards. I wanted to blow through the whole franchise because
I'm totally going to.
I'm going to. Like, I really genuinely want to go through this. I might just bleed into November and just keep going, keep going into, because I mean, at one point they're in space. At another point they're in the hood.
Yeah.
Like, so we were just throwing really bad stuff. And I also want to know where it just completely goes off the rails. Because at this point,
it started off the rails.
Well, okay. Here's my thought: is that this was always meant to be this movie. It was always meant to be this type of movie, but
like kind of dumb and goofy.
You will, at some point, I think you will go to the point of no return. Like, so the real question is, when should they have stopped making these movies? For me. So is it gonna be like, is it gonna be after number 2? They should have stopped that because number 3 is just it's too crap sticking to the wall. Like they're really reaching with this. So I want to know where that's going to be. It'll be basically when I stop enjoying.
Yeah.
It'll be basically when I stop really enjoying these movies and I start hitting the 10-second skip button a little bit faster. But this movie, no 10-second skip button.
Yeah.
I watched this movie from start to
too.
finish.
I
No
did too.
10-second skip. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I gave it 1 star, but I clicked the like button. Really give it a little
Yeah.
heart, you know?
You did. That was the thing that was the thing that's crazy to me, is that you were like, this movie is garbage. 1 star. And then you were like, I like it though. What? What? Dude, give it a better star rating.
All right, I will do that. I'll give it 3. How's that sound?
No, don't be peer pressured. Also, be yourself.
Pet. I watched Pet. P-E-T. Pet. Stars Meriadoc Brandybuck, otherwise known as Dominic Monaghan.
What are you saying right now? Did you
it's his name, Mary, in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Stars Dominic Monaghan, and he is. This is it's another one of those twist halfway through the movie thing, not at the end. And I don't want to give this away. Don't watch trailers. If you want to, I would highly recommend this movie. 4 stars. But it's just really good. He basically, like, you can tell from like the header, he like gets obsessed with this girl, a woman that he went to high school with. You know, they're older now. It's been several years later, and he captures her, puts her in a cage in the basement of where he works. But there's twists, and it's so, like I said, don't watch the trailer, but it's really good. I would really recommend it. It's on lots of places like Amazon, Tubi, etc.
Got it.
Then I watched The Blob, the 1988 version, and it was better than I expected. It was pretty impressive effects for the 80s, and I gave that one 3.5. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun, and it was, like I said, better than I expected.
It was also added fun because you were live texting me through the movie.
Right.
It was just added fun there.
Yeah.
Both, I think, but maybe both Leprechaun and
Yeah.
Blob.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were both talking about how ridiculous it was.
Absolutely. And I watched Bloodsucking Bastards.
You told me about this.
Dude.
You recommended this to me.
If for our listeners, if you like Mayhem with Samara Weaving and Stephen Yeun, and then if you like that one and The Office Space, stuff like that, like killing in an office environment, this is the movie for you with vampires. And this is 4 stars for me. I'm gonna put this on my like Halloween rotation every year because it's just so funny.
It's because it's not good, huh?
Yeah, and well, I mean, plus the Mandalorian is in it himself, Pedro Pascal, and it's a good watch. Then I watched Hellraiser: Hell on Earth, Hellraiser 3, which is on your list. I did not like it. I've seen 1. That was okay. Hellraiser 2 was kind of crap. Hellraiser 3 is even more crap.
Yeah.
And I think I've decided that the only good Hellraiser movie out there is the one in 2022. I really like that one a lot.
It's the one on Hulu, yeah.
Because none of the movies, it's like it's like torture porn. It's like the first torture porn thing that was coming along, because they literally get off on torture, and
it's fear,
and
no. I guess it is what is it, like the deepest desire of your heart, or?
But it always comes for these guys, like for the Cenobites. It always comes back to like brutal, painful body modification in search of different pleasures. Like
pleasure.
I've become so tired of like nice feeling things that I've got to twist it to. It's like BDSM movie, basically. There's no plot.
There really isn't. I think that's the thing that I realized in Hellraiser 3 was it's the same movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Just in a different setting. So there really is no
through line.
It fully relies on bad character development and not well thought out characters. Or I should say, it relies on the same archetypes of each character. And it's also just not interesting. So it's not like
Yeah.
they're not good. They're not good archetypes. They're not good. It's not good character development. It's let's show you a different way the priest can Pinhead can
Yeah.
And they're not good kills. It's basically the exact same kill every
Chains
single
flying
time.
out, just ripping skin off.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. The one was fine. I was like,
Right.
all right, this is a movie. Cool. Fine. I watched 2 and when this is not needed.
Nope.
I watched just over half of 3 and went, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need to watch. Unlike Child's, like I'm going to continue going in Child's Play because even though it's not necessarily good, it's entertaining.
Right.
This one is not good and not entertaining. So I'm done after. I won't watch 4 through whatever. I will.
9.
If I'm going to watch a Hellraiser movie, I'm going to watch the newest one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really it. And, even then, I'm kind of done for right now with Hellraiser. Like,
yeah, and like the Cenobites in this one, I don't think if you stopped at halfway, you didn't quite get to all the Cenobites. They are so stupid. One of them is a guy, like her cameraman, guy that she was working with.
Yeah,
he becomes a Cenobite with a giant camera for his eyeball. He looks like a Borg from Star Trek. It's like,
yeah,
okay. And then there's another Cenobite who was his like killing powers. He shot CDs, literal CDs, like the discs.
yeah.
Shot them out of his face and hit people in the brains and stuff. It's like, come on. It's like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, once I saw that first kill. I think it was the first kill. No, it wasn't the first kill. It was like I think she gets her skin ripped off of her.
Right.
One of the first ones.
Right.
They're, doing the business, and then he's like, "Get the heck out of here!"
And she gets too close to the thing.
And then she gets too close, and blood or whatever, and then, yeah. And I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
they did that in the first one.
Yeah,
so it's not new. It wasn't new. It was just basically you're wearing this muscular looking skin suit with this red KY jelly all over you.
Right.
And yeah, I was just uninterested at that point.
There was not even an explanation about why the Cenobites were all in a statue.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like they had to like suck in, I don't know. It made no sense.
It was unnecessary. It was really but I got bored. I was like, I'm either going to keep hitting the 10-second skip button, or I can just choose to miss out on the rest of this movie because I really don't care.
No, I didn't see.
It's not going to get better. There's no way the third act of this movie is going to get better. There's no way that it's going to get so much better that I go full 180 and decide that it was worth it, because the first half of the movie was so bad. I don't want to have to get through it again in order to get to the quote unquote good third act. No, I'm done with this movie.
Yeah. I'm done with the franchise, man.
I mean, no offense to Clive Barker, but also some offense.
Oh,
make a better movie.
Offense.
Come on. Freaking get your life.
And then I watched Salem's Lot, the new one that just came out.
I watched the opening credits of that movie.
Okay.
I got through the opening credits, and then I think I needed to go to the bathroom, and then I just never picked it back up after that. I think I think that was it. I think I watched the opening credits, went, oh, this is cool. Pause. I gotta pee. Went pee, came back, had more work to do, and then I just never picked it back up again.
Yeah, I do that all the time. But this one, it's a pretty decent Stephen King adaptation, which is hard to do. But I thought it was good. Especially there's this one kid in the movie. You'll watch when you're watching it. You'll see. You know who I'm talking about. He's the best. The best. Oh, it's great. I love this character so much. So 3.5 stars on that one. It's pretty good. Maybe 4. I don't know. Then I watched The Stuff, which we'll be talking about in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rewatched Hellbender and Apartment 7A I watched this morning, which was really freaking good. Really good.
Do you need to watch Rosemary's Baby in order to get anything?
Right. It's not required that you watch Rosemary's Baby at all. You can watch it just completely by itself.
Oregano's Child. You don't need to watch that?
No. That's in Italian anyway. You don't understand that one.
You can't understand it. There's no subtitles. You just need to know Italian.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but Rosemary's Baby. So this is a prequel technically to Rosemary's Baby, but it's kind of unique because it's an overlapping prequel. It doesn't it's not like it picks up right where it stopped. So the movie Apartment 7A, I went back and pulled up Rosemary's Baby, and you scrub to about 20 minutes into Rosemary's Baby. That's where the ending of 7A is. So the characters in Rosemary's Baby are living in the same apartment building as the gal in Apartment 7A, and they like meet each other. And I looked back at the old the 1967 movie. There's a character named Terry Giannoffrio who talks to the main character, who talks to Rosemary, and like they do laundry together. And that's who the character is in Apartment 7A, is Terry Giannoffrio. And at one point they show them doing laundry, and they don't ever quite show Rosemary's face, but you know it's her. But anyway, it's pretty good. There's some crap about, I saw some people like dogging on it saying, well, it's just the same thing as the first movie. It's not. Not at all. It's like, yeah, if you haven't seen it, you watch one of them or watch both of them. Either way, they're pretty good. A lot of the same characters, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all. On top of watching a bunch of episodes of Dexter and other things like that. So.
Cool.
Are we done?
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're not.
Sorry. I want to know what you watched.
Okay. So I watched the movie Trap.
You did.
I did watch the movie Trap. I will say it was fine. I feel like
it was a movie.
M. Night Shyamalan is okay. I enjoy M. Night Shyamalan. I want to say that just out the gate. I think he, with this one, was a little left of center with this movie.
Kind of liberal.
It wasn't, well, no.
So you said left of center, sorry.
Fine, a little down of center. What the gosh.
I'll shut up.
He's, yeah. Something about this movie that I don't want to give away was a little funky, but it was fine. It was a perfectly fine movie. There is a twist in this movie, as is his normal tactic. So yeah, I watched Trap. I watched episode 1 of Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Mendez story.
Oh, okay.
I've not picked it up since then. I've only watched episode 1. I watched the first half of the movie The Front Room with Brandy.
Oh, yeah. Just you stopped because it wasn't good?
No, I probably had
forgot you.
I don't really know. Something happened again.
Yeah.
A butterfly flew in front of me, and I ADHD moment. I don't know. Something happened. And
the first half was good though.
I will say this. You need freaking subtitles for this movie because the mom, the stepmom, the grandma, whatever her,
Yeah.
she speaks in, she got a freaking mouthful of marbles. It's my one major complaint about this movie is that it's like she forgot to put in her denture paste and her teeth are rattling around in her face.
That's annoying.
Like she needs some Fix-It-Dent and she needs to just glue her teeth to her gums
Yeah.
because they're just rattling around when she talks. And she's also like Southern. So she's talking in this mumbled Southern accent and you're like, what is happening? So you need to watch this movie. And I'm probably blowing it way out of proportion, but still, it was annoying to me that I'm like, what did you just say? What? And I had to turn on subtitles because freaking mumble mouth over there. Anyway, it was annoying. It was annoying that
I've
I
gone to
had
honestly turning on subtitles most of the time anyway, just because there's a lot of things you can't hear.
Yeah.
And like you, like, I don't know, you learn more sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think in the last time we recorded, I mentioned that if it had not been for subtitles in You'll Never Catch Me or whatever that movie was
You'll
called.
Never Find Me.
There it is. When he fell over, like he died, it said thud in the subtitle in the caption, but I didn't hear him fall over. It just said thud.
Right.
So it was so faint because I backed it up and I heard then because I knew what to look for. But so yes, closed caption is good to have, even if you're not into reading. It's just nice to know what's maybe going on in the
Like as a
background,
backup.
especially since like they'll caption like a radio broadcast like off in the background, and sometimes if they're doing that means you need to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Wherein if you didn't have caption on, you might not pay attention to that.
There have been a couple times where I've sort of been spoiled by the captions.
Yeah,
because like a person you don't know who it was, it's like Bob says, you know?
Right?
Like, dang it.
Yeah, they haven't revealed a character
That's pretty
yet,
rare.
or what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, so then I watched. This is not in order or anything like that. I watched A Nightmare Before Christmas because again, Oogie Boogie passed away. R.I.P. I watched Leprechaun. We've talked about that. 4-star. I think I literally think
4
I left
stars?
a 4-star. Yeah, 4 stars on that one. It's fantastic. Because it's just so bad. Also, I didn't say this. I think I left this one for the podcast. Leprechaun. This guy is not bad. That's one of the things I also picked up about this movie. The Leprechaun is not the bad guy of this movie. He just simply wants his gold and then he'll leave you alone. The people are the bad guy in this movie because they're like, no, we're not going to get. As once they gave him the gold, he kept saying over and over and over again in the movie, just give me the gold and I'll leave you alone. So once Jennifer hands him, goes to the well, digs up the gold, gives it to him, he runs off and counts it. Because he's fine. And then they're like, oh, well, let's go to the hospital now, blah, 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 whatever. And then it's not until he is missing a coin that he comes back and he's like, I just want my coin. Just throw up, dude. I just want my coin. And then I'll leave you alone. So I was rooting for him.
See, you're missing the message of leprechauns in general. The message is if you find something, it's okay to take it. And that's more important than somebody else who wants it. So if they try to get it back from you, it's a colonization message. You know, you take whatever the heck you want, and they're the bad guys if they fight back.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know that there was a hidden meaning behind Leprechaun.
I mean, there's probably not, but
there probably isn't. Yeah. Okay. I watched The Blob. This had some really great kills in it. Yes. Innovative, and it was a decent movie. I did not hate it. Also, Amanda from Saw is in this movie.
She is?
She's the main character. The main girl in
I
this
didn't even
movie
realize that.
is
I knew I
I
recognized
was
her from
like,
somewhere.
she looks so familiar, and I was like, where do I see her from? So I looked up on IMDb, who is this person, and turns out it's Amanda from the Saw movies, and I'm like, that wow, holy cow! I watched Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, garbage. I watched VHS Beyond, um,
That's on Shudder, right?
mistake, genuine mistake. Yeah, it just came out.
I have not
So
seen any of the VHS movies.
I will say this: it is actually the problem. My problem with it was the shaky cam. It just
Yeah,
it
that's
it
rough.
literally messed me up. Like for a couple of hours, I was actually like doing something else because I knew that it was shaky cam. So I'm like, I'm not gonna fully pay attention. I'm just gonna kind of have it on in the background, be look up every now and then and see what's kind of going on. But and even just that little bit of watching that I did was so much, and it just threw my equilibrium off. It kind of messed up my eyesight, give me a headache and all
Wow.
that stuff.
Are you gonna
I will
sue?
say this though, the the stories are really good. The stories are really really good. Um and
The stories?
see yeah, the plot of the movie,
Oh,
'cause
okay.
it's several different directors.
Oh, is it? I don't know anything about this movie, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So it's actually what's interesting about, and I don't know about any of the other ones because I've never seen any of the other ones, but there is a theme throughout all of them, and like extraterrestrials is basically the theme of this one,
Oh, okay.
and or I'm almost positive that it is, and so they don't show you like, all right, well here's this director's uh short film, and then it's not like Cabinet of Curiosities where it's like episodic,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but it's in movie form, so they're all together. It all weaves throughout. So like they start out, they're basically, I don't know, I'm describing it poorly. Anyway, um it's not bad.
Okay.
The stories are actually pretty good. It's just the shaky cam that freaking messes me up. So I won't be continuing to watch it, but I watched enough that I think
Right.
I got like 45 minutes left in it, and I'm like, I physically can't do it. Um, and then I watched Hellbender, and yeah, so that is all I've watched.
That sounds like a much more reasonable amount of things to watch.
Yes, it is. It's much more. It's at least more manageable than. But that's two
Yeah.
weeks worth of. That's two
Well,
weeks worth
I'm
of.
not gonna lie, Zach. I need to probably become more of an adult and, and like calm, like turn down the amount of stuff I'm watching.
I understand. Yeah.
So, wow, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So who's going first, Steve?
I'll go first. I
You're
mean,
up. What'd you watch, Steve?
I watched the classic 85 movie, 1985 movie known as The Stuff, which was an interesting watch. Oh boy. So I was taking notes. Well, let me back up. I'll back up. Ratings for this movie. I always forget to do this part.
Mm-hmm.
Ratings for this movie were surprising to me. 73% on the tomato meter for reviews. But that's only 15 reviews because it's kind of an older movie. But there were 48% uh, uh, popcorn meter for the audience, and they're 5,000 ratings. So I think it's closer to the 5 to 48% in reality. So it's oh boy, sorry. And then IMDb 5.9 out of 10, Letterboxd 3.3 out of 5. 84% of Google users liked this movie. So yeah, it's kind of like a lot of movies. It's kind of mid-range reviews. Yeah. But the poster for it is a dude like screaming really big and like white goop coming out of his mouth and his eyes, and you know, it could have been another color.
Yeah.
But okay, so I started taking notes on this as I was watching. I'm like, I'm gonna do a breakdown of this thing, and I got the movie just starts. I'm not gonna do the whole breakdown, but it starts off kind of like out of the gate. There's no like lead up to the title or whatever. No like music in the beginning. Just right out of the gate, old dude in the dark, in the snow, walking around and with a like a shotgun and a flashlight or something. And he goes over. He's like, "Oh, what's this on the ground?" It's like this bubbling, like undulating, goopy white stuff. Yeah. So what's the first thing he does? Sticks his finger in it and tastes it.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I see some undulating, weird, goopy stuff on the ground. I'm like, let's taste that sucker.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's pretty good.
5-second rule, Steve.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that is some of the most old man on the farm behavior ever.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm with my granddad was lived next door, and he would do stuff like that all the time. He's like, what's that?
Just put it in his mouth.
But then his friend comes along and is like, oh, let's try that too.
Yeah. He survived, so I'll survive too. I want to taste it. Yeah.
Right. So, and then I guess they turn it into, I mean, there's no explanation at all where this stuff comes from or what it is. They somehow figure out how to make it or something. And they, you get the idea is that it becomes like this huge product. It's like an ice cream competitor. It's some sort of like yogurt sort of thing. It's not a frozen meat thing. It's a fridge thing. Mm-hmm. But it comes in like little ice cream container size things. And so it like the first half hour of this movie is so jarring because it's like it quick cuts to like the most random thing. So starts out with an old dude. We don't know who these people are. Old dude eating crap on the ground. Uh-huh. Then cut to a kid in the bed who's like, oh, the mosquitoes are bothering me. I'm going to go downstairs for a snack. So he goes downstairs, opens the container, and like a container of the stuff is on its side and the top is off. And it's like moving and undulating around, like traveling around the fridge or something. And then his dad comes down, yells at him to go to bed, and it's like 1 inch from the kid's face. It's like, ah. Yeah. And then the kid, he goes away and he physically abuses his son, spanks him as he goes away. And then the dad opens the thing and it looks like just yogurt. It's like back to where it was. So he eats a bunch of it before he goes to bed. And then suddenly you cut to a very unsettling video of a woman in front of The Stuff logo and like a sparkly pink curtain saying, when I was a little girl, I used to like ice cream. But now that I'm grown, I want something more. It's like, wow, now I eat the stuff, and enough is never enough.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah. And it turns out that's an ad, which for the stuff.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you cut to a bunch of rich white dudes on a boat. Because, of course, talking about trying to steal the formula for the stuff. And apparently they are like the head of like this ice cream consortium or whatever. And so they don't want the stuff to tank their ice cream industry. So they decide to hire a professional industrial spy, which I guess is a career choice.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, look at Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
I understand how like an industrial spy for a place, but somebody whose like job that is Everybody would know who you are. Don't get me started.
Would you not want to be, though, a professional spy like that? That sounds like the
Yes.
most fun job ever.
But I would not want
professional
to-
industrial spy.
That sounds fantastic.
You get to go into Frito-Lay and find out all their secrets, and then go over to their competitor, and it'd be
Right.
great. Infiltrate. You mean to tell me infiltrating Pepsi to find out their secret recipe, and then going down to Atlanta to Coke?
Do I need to have a talk with your boss?
No, I'm just saying.
You're
I'm not.
you're
I'm
doing
definitely not at. I'm definitely not at my current company to get intel on another company.
No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely not.
So I would not want to be this man though. His name is Mo Rutherford,
Ooh,
but he says he goes by Mo because whenever someone gives me money, I always want Mo.
yeah. Wow. Okay.
Shoot him now. And his voice is like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's like really creepy. And then when he shakes everyone's hands, okay, he comments on how sweaty their palms are. Every one of them. He's like, "Oh, that's a sweaty palm. Oh, there's another sweaty palm. Oh, there's another sweaty palm." It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
And then they don't want. And then they decide, "Oh, we're not going to hire you after all," because then after they decide not to take him, he admits to bugging all of them. And suddenly they trust him more because, and then as he's walking out the door, he punches a guy and breaks the guy's jaw. It's like one of the guys who just hired him. Cut back to the kid's house. Mom is also an absolute jerk, yelling at her kids. Just out flies off the handle. The kid warns his family not to eat the stuff because he saw it, moving and everything. He's like, "There's something wrong with the stuff." And everybody's eating the stuff. Mom and dad are eating the stuff, and they want him to force him to eat the stuff. And he smacks it out of his mom's hand. It splatters all over. Mom yells at him and then is super happy that the stuff didn't stain her cabinets. Whoa, this stuff's fantastic. And now we cut again to the fashion show looking thing, and models are in bikinis and furs, of course, eating, and they're feeding each other the stuff with spoons. It's at this point I realized I'm 10 minutes into the movie. 10 minutes, Zach. I'm like, there's no way in any reality that I'm going to take notes on this whole movie.
Yeah, it's going to take you a good minute to break it down.
So, I mean, basically what happens is other things happen, and then Mo, he makes I bet mine is bigger than yours joke about limousines. And everybody in the world is obsessed with eating this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's starting to control their minds, and all they're eating is the stuff, and it's kind of vague about what their mind control is doing, other than making them want to eat more stuff. And then when they start battling against it, I guess there's one place in Minnesota or wherever that this stuff is being mined or created. Because that's why they can't replicate the recipe, because there's not a recipe. It's just the stuff is coming out of the ground or something. And the Mo finds out about it, and he uses his wily charms or something to get people to fight against it. I mean, once again, I kind of blacked out on this one. And I mean, the whole point of the movie, it became pretty clear pretty soon that it's like a movie with a message, It's not a movie that's allegorical. It's a message about capitalism and consumerism and how it's bad and everything. But the worst, oh, I swear, the worst thing near the end, they bring in the military.
Yeah, of course they do.
And it's the dude who plays the military commander guy, general, is the same guy who's been in every 80s movie and every 80s TV show ever, playing the dude who's the kind of the older military guy. Really fake. Yeah. And at one point he's talking about there's language in it that you shouldn't use these days about people, and problematic, and it just it's just gross.
Different time. Is it definitely a different time?
Definitely a different time. I understand, but at the end of the day, they bury the stuff in a bunch of Mo plants all these charges and blows up this cliff or something, and I guess it's over, sort of. But then there's like a hint of some stuff left over or whatever. I don't know. So they freeze it. That's what they do. They freeze the stuff, and it turns into because like fire wasn't working, guns don't work, even though they keep shooting at the stuff. It's not going to work. Stop shooting the stuff. And so then they realize there's like this truck that's like full of liquid nitrogen or something. Like they blow it up, freezes the stuff, and it turns to crystals. Right? Is this the right movie?
Yeah,
No,
that's the Blob. You're now describing the Blob.
I'm describing the Blob.
Yeah, because it instantaneously crystallized.
Oh boy. Yeah. So the stuff turns into like powder or something, right?
I honestly forget at this point because now
it's just so bad, man.
All I can think of is the Blob.
Yeah, see, it's like the white blob. That's what it is.
It's basically the white blob.
But I was impressed with where did they get that amount of like marshmallow fluff or
whatever it is?
You should go to YouTube and search for I think it's elephant slime or something.
Yeah, elephant toothpaste.
Elephant toothpaste. Yeah, that's what it like. You put the stuff together. It's like huge.
I've wanted to do stuff like that with my nephews because I think that they would freaking love.
Yeah.
But the problem is that apparently it's hot.
Right.
It gets hot, so you have to back up. But yeah, I watched. I think Mark Rober do a whole swimming pool full of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but that's basically the stuff. Is really what that is.
That's what the stuff is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bad movie, bad acting, bad writing, bad camera work. It was so cheeseball. Like it was, but the thing is, it was trying to be serious. That's the problem that I had with it. Things like Leprechaun and like Psycho Gorman or whatever. A lot of the movies like you're trying to be goofy. It's clearly the point. This was trying to be serious, trying to make it like a societal point or something, and it just fell flat because it was just so bad. I'm
bad.
Yeah, and I can't go back to 1985 and watch it again like with the 1985 view of the world, but it was not a good horror movie and because it wasn't a good movie. And I'm realizing now, like the more I get into like watching these movies kind of with an analytical mind, if it's not a good movie, I'm not going to like it, whether it's horror or whatever else. And the definition of a good movie here is if it achieves what it's trying to do, right? If it's supposed to be goofy, and fine, it's supposed to be goofy. But if it's supposed to be trying to be serious when it comes off as stupid and goofy, I don't know. I mean, that's not a across the board thing, but not a good movie. But
what'd you rate it?
1 star.
Only 1 star. That's hot garbage.
Is it?
That's what our rating system is.
There we go. It's hot garbage. You said
hot garbage. Okay.
So I thank you for I feel like I have been exposed to another side of culture. That how in the world could 15 reviewers say that this is a good movie?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely I don't know. Something about this movie is attractive to me, and it might just simply be the fact that it's so bad. Like it's just so bad.
Yeah, and honestly,
and it's quick cuts of so much. It's not a well-gelled story. There's no seamless transitions to this. It's all this disjointed. Yeah. But just also, I think that this movie deserves a remake. Remake this movie in 2025. Remake this movie in 2025.
That I could see.
Yeah.
I could get behind that. Like if take the Psycho Gorman guy, like whoever directed that,
yeah,
and have them do it.
and have them remake the stuff.
It needs another look.
It needs, yeah. It's still going to be bad because there's no real plot. But you could take it and tweak it, and I think really make a decent B movie out of this.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a wide theatrical release. It's definitely going to be a video on demand, like straight to streaming kind of movie. But I think you could. At least for me, I want to see that. I want to see them. Somebody really take a decent crack at making the stuff, remaking the stuff.
Yeah, I agree, but I will not finance it myself.
No, I'm not going to finance it. Definitely not. I'm not going to finance it. If you got a Kickstarter out there, I'm not funding it. Right. I just want to see it.
It would be interesting to see it be done, right?
Yes, I am going to be a backseat driver over here. That's all I want to be. Yeah. Okay.
So, why don't you tell us about your film that you watched, Zach?
Well, okay. So here's the deal. Steve, you gave me the movie. It's called Hellbender. It's from 2021. And it's only slightly better than the stuff. Okay. So 97% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. But only 55% audience score, upturned popcorn bucket. Okay. 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb. So according to the audience, this is a mid-level movie.
Yeah.
The Google synopsis says this: a teen and her mother simply live in a home in the woods, spending their time making metal music. Hilarious. A chance encounter with a fellow teen causes her to uncover a connection between her family and witchcraft, which causes a rift with her mother. That's the whole freaking movie, Steve. I just said it in a paragraph.
Yeah.
You don't really need any more than that. That's the movie. And if you think that there's take what you think about this, like anything that comes to your mind, and add LSD to it. And then you have this movie called Hellbender.
Yeah.
So, let me read you my review, because I kind of wrote down my own review for this movie. Okay. This movie is about a girl named Izzy who grew up in the mountains of New York. We find out that they have been living in the mountains since Izzy was 5. The relationship between Izzy and her mom is a bit odd at first, at least to me. It appears odd at first. But I'm assuming living alone in the mountains of New York, or the mountains of anywhere, living isolated would rewire your brain to be a bit odd. Izzy is a very curious kind of girl. So I everywhere that I've looked, this is a quote unquote coming of age story.
Right.
So Izzy is a teenager when we first meet her, or just in general. She's a teenager. She's super curious. She goes on these long hikes and is just exploring mainly because that's the only thing to do. Her mom won't let her go into town. And her mom won't let her be around these other people. And she's kind of this helicopter parent who is constantly keeping an eye on her daughter, but also she also is giving the vibe of not wanting to be too clingy. Like, she lets her go off and explore, but she also, quote unquote, casts these spells to be able to watch her as she goes about. While hiking and drawing, Izzy encounters a man I didn't mention at all in my review that they have a mother-daughter band where Izzy plays the drums, her mom plays the bass, and the band is called Hellbender.
Right.
While hiking and drawing, Izzy encounters a man who tells her that his niece lives one mountain over. He's kind of lost. Lives one mountain over and would basically love to hang out. You and my niece should get together. It seems odd to me because I'm like, bro, you're a weirdo stranger meeting some teenager in the woods somewhere at a complete happenstance, and your first thought, maybe to be relational, it comes off weird because that's the lens by which I'm looking at this.
Right.
But anyway, mom quickly appears and basically tells Izzy to leave by just pointing. And then she takes the man off, asks if he's married. He's not. Asks if he has any kids. He doesn't. And then basically vaporizes this guy in what can only be described as objective bad CGI. And
really?
It's
I thought
terrible.
He just turns to dust.
Terrible. Terrible.
Admittedly, I was watching this on my phone whenever we watched it, so I don't remember. It was too small for me to tell.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad dust. Okay. If I can tell it's bad CGI and all you did was dust, it is bad. Okay.
Right.
So also it is a low budget indie movie. So I want to give it that. It is low budget indie movie. So yeah, Izzy's mom puts a stop to them hanging out, blah blah blah, whatever. And we come to find out this. I think this is kind of where we come to find out that Izzy wants more. Izzy wants more out of life. She at least wants a friend because she's incredibly lonely. She doesn't view her mom as lonely, but she views herself as lonely. And she wants a friend. But her mom took her away from society when she was 5 because she has this quote-unquote disease.
Right.
And she can't be around people. So Izzy goes off and starts exploring and finds this house that was quote-unquote one mountain over and finds this girl and at this pool. And they kind of befriend each other, and she invites this girl is basically crashing at somebody else's house because they're never there,
right? And
crashing at their pool. So she invites Izzy to come back the next day for a pool party that she's having. Not too sure it's a pool party. She's hanging out with 2 other people, but whatever. So the 4 of them are hanging out, and they decide to do some shots. But it can't just be normal shots, because of course not.
No, it's a movie.
Well, it's just a bunch of YOLO kids hanging out, so they got to add a real worm to. So instead of like the dead worm that's in the bottle of tequila, they put a live worm in one of the cups. And somehow, magically, despite the fact that he did the little abracadabra turn the cup trick, Izzy ends up with the cup. Mm-hmm. And I say that jokingly because it was purposeful. He handed Izzy this cup. She takes the shot and then loses her freaking mind.
Yeah.
Like screams at the top of her lungs in this angry fashion, and then just turns into this like zombie, mindless, like drone. It's like her soul left her body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come to find out, she hit witch puberty. And this is the point where she hits witch puberty. You find out later that the reason she is a quote-unquote vegetarian is because if she ingests like
something
meat
alive
or something that is or was alive, this activates her powers, and so Now we get into more in depth of why the mom took her away from society was basically because um, the mom had a bad childhood. So let's back up all the way to the very beginning of the movie. This movie starts off with a very jarring scene. Okay. It doesn't start off with a very jarring scene. I'm sorry. It starts off with a scene from like the 1800s where this group of women are hanging somebody else.
Yeah, like hanging a witch.
They die, but then they come back to life. So the other person pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head 6 times. They still don't die. And then that person who's hanging catches fire and flies off into space. You're like, what the heck is going on? And then instant cut to Izzy and her mom playing in a band.
Right.
And I was like, timeout. What? That was the thing that was jarring. Because I was not expecting it to go there. Now back to my story. So we come to find out that the very first scene that you see was the killing of Izzy's mom's mom, Izzy's grandma.
So they live a long time.
Because what happened is that they are this ancient group of people called Hellbenders. And Izzy's grandma got a little too power hungry. And so they had to kill her because Izzy's mom had a bad life growing up. By the way, she's also 147 years old, I think.
Right.
Wow, crazy. And when her daughter asks, how old will you live to be? Izzy's mom says, that's up to you. And that's a wild sentence. So Izzy's mom had a bad childhood. So she basically is like, we need to get this under control. Let me teach you how to starve this thing. But she does a really bad job of it because Izzy is secretly going off into the basement, digging this tunnel and killing these animals in the woods, which they stumble upon in hikes. And she's exploring her power. She's becoming her grandma. And then Izzy's mom kind of finds out, and she's been kind of curious almost the whole time, and she kind of finds out. I'm not too sure how this movie ends. I don't know whether it did, like, it seemed like Izzy was inviting this hellbender nature to come out of her mom because she wants to, because at one point she's like, we're going to take over, we're going to dominate, whatever. But then maybe she also killed her mom because her mom is going to stand in her way. I don't really fully know.
Yeah, it's
but this also, I don't entirely know what is a dream and what is not, because there are some fantastical kind of scenes, but then there's reality, and it's not a bad movie, but it is very trippy in its nature. And so if you're not into that type of thing, you're going to probably want to skip this one. But
yep.
It's not necessarily bad. If I am going to rate this movie on our rating scale, I'm probably going to give this movie a 3. It's solidly average. It's not bad, but 3.5 is worth another watch, and I'm fine with not watching this movie again.
Sure.
It's a 3.0 for me, and again, it's not necessarily a bad movie, but it's also not really. It's not
your thing.
it's not necessarily my thing.
Yeah.
And I think it probably could have been, but there was some sort of like X factor about this movie, like some sort of indefinable quality about this movie that I couldn't entirely get behind.
Yep.
But
I see that.
I didn't hit the 10-second skip button though. It was intriguing, it was interesting, and I did kind of want to dive a little deeper and figure some stuff out. But I probably won't give it another watch. I'd probably like go to YouTube and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
help me break this movie down."
Yep. That's kind of what I did. Yeah.
So
And
yeah, it was a decent movie, and
I thought it was interesting. The mom and the daughter in this are actual real mom and daughter in real life.
Yeah.
And
the stranger was her sister.
Right. Exactly. And this family, this is the Addams family that I've mentioned several times. That makes they've made like 4 or 5 movies together, and they're the ones who did Hellhole that I saw a while back.
Right.
And I think they're pretty good movies. And so I came across this one because I was kind of going down a folk horror kind of a rabbit trail a while back.
Right.
And I saw an interview with them. They said that they were trying to come up with a new sort of like an entity, like the Hellbender thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really a witch, but it's like a being that can live for a long time, but there can only be like a couple of them at a time or something. That's why it's like your choice when I die sort of thing.
Right.
But they live off the power of other living things. Anyway. But I
think her mom, Izzy's grandma, like the part of the reason why she died, I think, is because she like killed half the village.
Right. Yeah. And if so she's exactly like you said, she's trying to hold back Izzy's possible in like world killing power.
Yeah, she wants her to have a better life than she had.
Right.
But she realizes that the only real way for her to do that is to do this other thing, and that is fully suppress this, fully hide this.
Right.
But then the reason why I said she does a bad job of, because once Izzy's like, hey, I met this friend, I ate this worm, I had this thing, these voices started to talk to me, I found this room, this book started to speak to me, I put my hand on the book. Like, once she has this moment, she confesses all this to her mom, and her mom was like, I'm sorry for hiding this from you. Let me teach you how to hone this. Right. But the problem is that in adolescence, it's just this insatiable appetite. So it's like scratching poison ivy, like you're not going to be able to stop. And so that's why I said her mom does this really bad job, is because she's not necessarily condoning it, but she's also not really doing anything to stop it.
Right.
Because she looks at those dead animals that have their bones completely cleaned out, and she knows. You can tell that she knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't confront Izzy about it until it's too late. Until she's already kidnapped her quote-unquote friend.
Right.
And it's too late. And so, and then the ending is kind of a little vague, and I'm fine with the ending being vague. Izzy just kind of becomes this monster. She basically turns into her grandma. So it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was definitely going to be a different movie based on the poster than it actually was, but
Yeah, and I thought it was a different enough kind of a story that I kind of liked the different-ish upness of it, but it's not the best movie in the world, but it's good.
No, it's not, but it wasn't bad enough that I would hit the 10-second skip button, but it also wasn't good enough that it'd be like, yeah, I want to dive a little deeper. I want to watch this movie again, maybe pick up on some things, and that's on an immediate level too. Like there might be a year later, I might be like, yeah, let me kick that rock down the road again. But right now, I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. So.
Well, cool.
Anyway.
We should pick movies for next time. Why don't you go first?
Cool. Okay. Let me. Oh, it's loud. Let's spin it up here. Okay. All right, buddy. You are going to watch the original The Thing.
Oh,
With Kurt Russell.
Dude, I'm so glad this is great. Noah and I started watching this a couple days ago. We're like,
what?
We're like 15 minutes into it.
Yes.
So,
finish it. It's your assigned movie.
Yeah. Cool. Good. Look forward
to The Thing.
Well, I'm going to give you one that I've been wanting to give you for a while, but mix it, like totally switching it up from last week.
Okay.
Mike Flanagan classic, Gerald's Game.
Ooh, I started this and it might have been another butterfly situation where they packed their bag, they got in the car, like he zipped up the bag with the handcuffs. And
right.
I was like, I gotta pee. And I don't know what happened after that. I stopped watching it. So Gerald's Game. Okay.
Yeah. It's a Mike Flanagan in a adaptation of a Stephen King story. So.
Got it. Okay. Gerald's Game. I'm adding it to my list.
Good stuff.
Fantastic.
Can't wait.
Okay.
Well, I got to go off and do things.
Yes, I also have to go off and do things.
All right. Well, have fun doing your things.
Yes, you as well.
Don't do anything that's illegal, and or just don't get caught at least.
I will try.
And take care of yourself.
Yes, you as well. Take care of yourself, Stephen.
Thank you very much, sir. Very kind of you. My liege, or whatever. I don't know.
Yes. Okay.
See you next time.
Okay, see ya. All right, listeners. That's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is @horrorsyetonunseenpod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.